Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today's video is going to be a what's inside video, and it's going to be on a tire. Now technically there is nothing inside the tire here. It's just, empty space where you would mount it. But we're actually going to be cutting the tire in a section, and I'm going to show you guys a little layers and everything regarding the tire. Now before we go ahead and begin, guys, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button down below. It definitely helps the channel grow. Smash that like button because it definitely helps out the channel. And with that said, let's go ahead and tear into this tire. So to tear into this tire, I don't have any fancy tools, guys, so we're just going to take our good friend here, Mr. Sawzall. We have a metal blade on it because we do have a metal cord that's on the tread of this tire, the steel belt as what it's called, and we're going to need something to cut through that. It should cut through the rubber pretty easily, but a steel belt I find is going to be challenging. This Sawzall can make quite a bit of noise, so I'm going to time lapse me cutting it, guys, simply because it cuts down on the noise, and it doesn't really show me like 10-15 minutes trying to cut this tire because I have a feeling this thing might fight me a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and set you guys up on that time lapse, and then we're gonna take the Sawzall and we're gonna be making two cuts. We're gonna be cutting one up here and one down here, and this is gonna be in the area where I previously done a video on tire plugs and patches. This will have the tire plug installed and the tire patch on here. I'll show you guys that a little bit more in depth when I rip it apart. But with that said, let's go ahead and cut into this thing. Alright guys, so we have our tire cut, and boy will I tell you, this thing was a bear to cut. You guys saw in the video that I had to use my Sawzall, and then the battery died out there. I had to swap out a battery. Then I had to switch between the metal blade and the wood blade. Now rubber, it likes to absorb any vibration, makes it really difficult for the blade to move there quick enough to cut it. It's not the proper way to cut it. Plus, people aren't really cutting up tires. These things get shredded and they get repurposed. But either way, with those two bits, and then I had to get out my die grinder or cutter wheel just to kind of snap off the steel cord here and chew through it because my Sawzall wasn't doing anything with it. But in the end, we have our tire cut in half. Now originally I was hoping to get a section of this so I can hold it in my hand. It would make this video a lot easier to explain things on it. But going through all that and cutting this tire, it was a real pain, so I'm just going to deal with this one cut and I'll explain to you guys how all this works. So we have our tire makeshift set up here. Like I said earlier, guys, I was trying to cut a section out so I can hold it in my hand and show you. However, I put a piece of wood and kind of overlap the tire so you guys have a nice good area here to look at. Now tires are made out of plies, meaning you're going to have your rubber plies, then you're going to have a steel belt, and you're going to have more rubber plies, and they're all kind of sandwiched together and compressed and glued and heated to extreme pressures to make the tire. Tires are not only made of rubber, they are also made of steel. Now the form of steel that they use is like a fine mesh belt and also rod. You guys will see here in a second why the corners were so tough for me to cut on there if you pick that up on the little time lapse. But just to give you guys an overall close view, I'm going to grab the camera here and show you this edge, and we're just going to go around the perimeter. This part right here is a nice indication to show you guys how it has layers. You can kind of see it in there. And then as we come here, we have the same thing as the other side. Now, the way a tire works as far as it being strong, guys, the strongest point is typically the tread area and this corner area right here where the tire is held onto the rim. Now, the corner area where it gets held onto the rim, you guys will see here, it's made up of steel strands that form a wire. It is very strong. This is high strength stuff. And then same thing here, guys. Sorry, bumped the camera there. You will notice that fine layer of mesh. That is the steel belt. Sometimes what will happen on the tire is when this belt shifts off or breaks, you guys will notice you'll have a bubble in the tire tread area or somewhere along the sidewall. Sometimes what will also happen when it slips up, and the belt basically shifts, you'll see that this tread will kind of rise up and it'll have a shifted effect. That's generally happening because where the belt is being held on, it allows to move. The rubber just gives up or the belt breaks off, and then the tire goes out of balance, and that'll pretty much create that little bump on there. That's what people mean when they refer to, hey, my tire has a shifted belt, if you guys have ever heard that explanation before. Now, since the tire is made up of different layers and plies, when you generally, and I'll move you guys over here to the side, let me see if I can adjust the lighting here accordingly. This video is kind of difficult to shoot on this thing, but you guys will see right here. I'll move the light out here to the side, guys, so that way I can just kind of hold it as I show you. Let's make sure we're still in a good shot here. But typically what happens is when you get a bubble on the sidewall, you will see all the different plies, all the different layers that are in here, and I'll use my knife to kind of explain it. On the side here, since they can't use a steel belt, they use a it's like a wire that's made out of fabric, some sort of like a rope type of structure. If you hit a pothole hard enough and this layer here on the edge sandwiches together, this rubber has potential to kind of separate in between from all the plies, and what will happen is air will get in there between the plies, therefore will create a air bubble, and that's how you get the air bubbles on the sidewall, if you guys have ever seen that before. Just to show you guys another little area here, the part that is held on by the rim, the reinforced area, the reason why we need a tire machine to take tires on and off is because we have a steel belt section right here. This is multitude. This one has, I think, let's see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, about 10 different steel cables that are in here, formed as one major cable to keep the strength on the actual diameter portion, so the diameter of this tire doesn't change as you speed up. So it's a really well reinforced tire, guys. Tires, for as simple as they are very advanced, and this is why I wanted to make this video. I do want to say that even though this video isn't the greatest, I mean, I'm not really covering too much because I couldn't cut this thing that nicely. But still, it's something, guys, if you guys were ever curious to see what's inside of a tire. And once again, I'll just kind of zoom you guys in, and you'll see there. Steel belt followed by multiple layers of rubber with that rope fabric. And then we have that rope fabric, steel belt, and all the plies just kind of going around there as well, guys. And then the other side, same thing. We just have a belt there. Hopefully you guys can see all that. And this is the best that I could do as far as, showing it. So that's pretty much what's inside of a tire, guys. We have somewhat tore down the tire, I guess you can say. Alright, guys, so we just tore down the tire. Now, I gotta admit, I was hoping to cut it a little bit better, show you guys the multiple layers. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to. I'm kind of limited to my tooling, but at least I was able to tear into it and show you guys a little bit of the layers and what it's comprised of. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Please comment, like, and subscribe, guys, because it definitely helps the channel grow. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.